I remember driving down to Atlantic City and thinking. I remember driving down to Atlantic City.
Yep. Thank you.
Please welcome to the field. Game one umpire crew on the home plate, Mr. Reggie Ladies. John Spear pulls first base duties. Okay. Third base umpire, Jim Taylor.
Welcome to Constellation Field. It'll be the Skeeters against the Revolution. Sugarland comes in at 16 and 13. The Revolution 11 and 16. The national anthem ready to get underway. We will duck out when we come back. The starting lineups and the first pitch. It is time to play ball when we return to Constellation Field in a moment. Welcome back to Constellation Field. It is time to play ball. Well, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the visiting York Revolution. Member Source Credit Union sponsors our starting lineup, whether it's a Skeeters checking account, an auto loan, or a home loan. Be sure to check out Member Source's complete lineup at membersourcecu.org. Leading off is Jose Constanza. He'll be the DH. Batting second and playing third is Ryan Dayton. Angel Franco is at second, batting third. The cleanup hitter at first baseman, Michael Burgess. Carlos Trianfeld will be the shortstop, batting fifth. In center, Travis Witherspoon bats sixth. It is Derek Robinson, the switch-hitting left fielder, batting seventh. Catching, Luis Cruz batting eighth, and batting ninth, right fielder Jared Mitchell. Defensively for the Skeeters, it is Joe Benson in left, Derek Miller in center, Jeremy Barfield in right, Kevin Aarons is at third, Lance Sawatsky at short, Josh Prince at second, Travis Scott at first. Behind the dish is Albert Cordero, and on the mound is Mitch Talbot, the newest member of the Skeeters. Talbot, a former big leaguer, will bring some much-needed starting experience to this rotation. He's 33 years old, from Cedar City, Utah, 6'1", 180. Originally drafted by the Astros in 2002 out of Canyon View High School in Cedar City, Utah. Last year in the Korean League, 10-11, a 4.72 ERA. 10 minor league seasons, he is 68-57 with a 3.80 ERA. He's been to the bigs as MLB numbers of 12-19 and 5.29 ERA in parts of 3 seasons with the Rays and the Indians. Well, stepping in here is Jose Constanza. Constanza, the DH, 247, no home runs and 5 RBIs. Constanza last night had 2 hits, including an RBI and a run scored. Also walks on base 3 times, total went 2 for 4. Wind blowing in from left center field. Talbot ready to deliver his first pitch as a member of the Skeeters. They're going to set up inside, and the first pitch of the ball game is a strike down the middle, 0-1, and we're underway. Game 2 of a 4-game series, also game 1 of a doubleheader here today. This one at noon, and game 2 will be at 7 o'clock. The 0-1, this one is strike on the inside corner. Ira Liebman along with Andy Humphrey. Talbot really will hopefully give the Skeeters what they need here today. Yesterday it was Bobby Blevins, and Blevins 4 2/3 yesterday, allowed 6 runs, 5 of them earned. And when you look at the starting pitching numbers, they're just not pretty. Andy, 11 and 12 with a 4.50 ERA, and when you compare that to the bullpen, 5 and 1 with a 3.11 ERA and 9 for 9 in saves, there's only so long that those bullpen numbers are going to be good if your starters continue to only go 3 or 4 innings.
Well, it's Gary Gaetti really not happy with the fact that his starting crew has just over 2 runs averaged more than the relief corps, and it's very frustrating for a manager if you don't have a starting staff that can take you deep into games and give your bullpen a little bit of a rest most nights. Let's see if Talbot can bolster that a little bit more.
So it is grounded right back to the pitcher. Nope, he's going to leave it for Cordero. The throw to first is thrown away. It was into the runner, and now going around first and heading for second is the leadoff man, Constanza. That should be a error on the catcher, Cordero, a 2-base error at that. Not a good way to start here.
Yeah, he threw it to the opposite side of the runner. He threw it behind his back, and Travis Scott had absolutely no chance to get it. He was going to have to reach around the runner to even make a chance at it.
Well, that'll bring in Ryan Dent, 260, no home runs and 3 RBIs, and they're going to square that one a hit and an error. Wow.
Yeah, I sort of agree with that. It's a tough play to make either way for Cordero. Had to rush things.
A runner at second with nobody out for Dent. This one is a fastball that misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. Talbot, the youngest of 6 siblings. Talbot graduated from Canyon View High School. Was an all-state second-team player during his senior year there. The 1-0. This one, a little blooper into right field. This one's trouble. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Holding up was Constanza. He'll stop at third. And not a good start here. First and third, nobody out here in the top of the first. Skeeters will try to get out of this unscathed or fairly unstaved. Well, in steps Franco. On-hill Franco, 269, a home run and 8 RBIs. Batting here from the left side with runners on the corners and nobody out. Let's see what the infield plays here. They're going to play about halfway, including the double play combination of Zawatsky and Prince. See if Talbot can come up big here. They set up outside, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses away, 1-0. Talbot did not pitch last year, but he has some time in the Atlantic League. Spent some time with the Ducks in 2014, was 3-2 with a 4.14 ERA. In his career, 110 wins, 92 losses, and a 4.14 ERA. The 1-0. This one swung a hit towards first. Scott is going to have the runner caught between first and third. Constanza will try to stay in a rundown as long as possible, and not a good move there. Now both runners are going to move up to second and third. They had him at third. They should have just chased him back. Now both runners advance, get the big out at the plate.
Yeah, Scott held that for a very long time, and at the very last second decided to throw over to third base, and at that point the base runner had not really gotten that close to third, so he had a shot to maybe go home on that, and that allowed the other two runners to both get into scoring position.
So it'll be Dent at third and Franco at second. Still second and third, one away now, and the Skeeters will bring the infield all the way in here. They'll bring up the cleanup hitter Michael Burgess. Burgess last night 0 for 5. Batting here from the left side against the right-hander and newest member of the Skeeters, Mitch Talbot, the former big leaguer. First pitch is strike, no balls and 1 strike to count. See if Talbot can come up with some more magic here. Burgess, a former first-round pick of the Nationals, 49th overall in 2007 out of high school. The 0-1, swung and a miss and a ball in the dirt. Great pitch by Talbot. 0-2, can really use a strikeout here. No score here, top of the first, but York threatening already. Runners on second and third with only 1 away. Very nice day here, 88 degrees. 59% humidity, a 7-mile-an-hour wind coming in from left center. Call time, look like Burgess. You wonder when the last time Talbot pitched. Now, it could be a while. They set up inside the 0-2. Swan and just getting a piece of that. Fouled it off the shin guard, it sounded like, of Cordero. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Talbot throwing strikes. 11 pitches so far, 9 of them for strikes. Keep in mind 2 were hits. He goes low and away here, trying to get him to reach for a pitch. Maybe swing and miss for strike 3 or hit a weak ground ball to one of the infielders who are drawn in. And he does go low and away, swung and miss, strike 3. That is a huge out for Talbot and the Skeeters, and now Talbot has a chance to get out of this unscathed.
Good mix up of the pitches there, and he got him with the breaking ball on that chase pitch in the dirt.
I'll bring in Carlos Trienfeld. Trienfeld yesterday was 0 for 4 with a walk and a run score. Comes in batting 154, no home runs, 2 RBIs, but in all fairness, this is just his 4th game. In 3 games so far with the Revolution, 2 for 13. Former U of H product. Brian Pound's not in the lineup, at least here in game 1. And time called. Talbot seems to be taking a lot of time between pitches. Looks like he's ready. Also, the other thing you got to remember is that he's working with Cordero for the very first time. This one swung and a miss. Great pitch there by Talbot.
Yeah, they've already had to go out to the mound. In fact, I think it was just 2 pitches into the game where Cordero had to meet up with Talbot up there to talk signals.
Let's hope they're on the same page here. No balls and 1 strike to count. They set up outside. And this one is a little bit low and away. Good pitch, but it missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trienfeld, undrafted from the Dominican Republic. Signed by the Mariners in 2006. Got to the big leagues. Debuted with the M's in 2012. Played 3 seasons in the big leagues with Seattle in 12 and 13 and the Giants in 2014. The 1-1. There's one high and outside, and Cordero before that pitch stuck his leg out to the left side, I think to pound the dirt to make it sound like he was going to move inside. That's what a batter listens for. It's kind of one of those unwritten rules to peek back. So I know guys peek, they tap the bat on the plate and taking a little peek out of the corner of their eye. What do you think a catcher would do if a guy just turned around and looked? The 2-1 here by Talbot. This one is high and outside. That'll run the count to 3-1. Now Talbot doesn't have to give in. First base is open. Travis Witherspoon is on deck. Let's see what he does here. 3-1, also a very good hitter's count. Drayenfeld stands deep in the box from the right side. 15 pitches already here in the first for Talbot. The 3-1. Swung and missed. The bottom fell out of that one. Great pitch there. That'll run the count full 3-2. Let's see if Talbot can get one more strike here and get out of this unscathed. I mean, he originally had first and second, nobody out. Second and third, 1 out. Be quite a feat to get out of this with no run scoring. Talbot, a long look in. Now he's ready. Takes a peek at the runner at third. And the 3-2 is low and in, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So first free pass of the day loads the bases here for Travis Witherspoon. Unfortunately, Witherspoon off to a bit of a slow start, just 230, a home run and 5 RBIs. But had 3 hits in 5 trips to the plate last night. So it will be a righty-righty matchup at least for Talbot. See if he can work some magic here. Thank you very much for joining us here in a early afternoon affair at noon. This one swung and smoked into center field. That's going to be a base hit. That'll get 1 in. Let's see if they wave around the second run. They will. The throw trickles home. 2-run score, and it is 2-0 York here in the top of the first. For Witherspoon, RBIs number 6 and 7.
Yeah, that first pitch was slammed by Witherspoon. He's continuing his success from last night.
Dent and Franco both score. Drayenfeld at second. Witherspoon with the RBI single on at first. 7 hitters now will bat here in the first, as Derek Robinson, the switch hitter, will bat here. Bat from the left side against the right-hander Mitch Talbot, the newest member of the Skeeters. And with his big league experience, that makes 9 current big leaguers on this team for the Skeeters, just showing you the quality of both this team and the Atlantic League. First pitch here is outside, 1-0. While Talbot joins Joe Benson, Kyle Drabeck, Brett Marshall, Felipe Paulino, Josh Prince, Evan Reed, Dustin Richardson, and Andy Wilkins as the other former big league players playing here for the Skeeters. This one is thrown down to second. Not a good throw at that. Cordero, a one-hopper to second. Nice play by Zawatsky.
Yeah, a bit of a pitch out there as they wanted to take a look. It's actually a 1-1 count, but yeah, they pitched out, and then Cordero, not the best of throws. If it's in the air the whole time, I think it maybe catches the runner, Drayenfeld.
I agree. Talbot looks at second and comes home. This one way outside, and I don't blame him for throwing down there. Drayenfeld's getting a suicide type of lead down there at second. He's a third of the way towards third. Robinson open stance from the left side. The 2-1 here by Talbot. This one way outside. 3 balls and a strike. Talbot looked like he was just a bit to get out of trouble. Now fighting it here a bit. 23 pitches here in the first. Now again, Talbot wants a new set of signs here from Cordero. Now he's ready. The 3-1 coming here to Robinson. Swan, this one hit into left center field just over the mid of Zawatsky. That'll easily score. Drayenfeld. Coming into third is Witherspoon, and it is now a 3-0 York lead here in the top of the first.
Yeah, it was hit softly enough just a flare right over the glove of Zawadzki. And it was perfectly placed in left center field. No chance for Miller to try and get a throw home. And York, they have these big innings, and right now it's just up to the Skeeters to weather this as much as they can.
So the 8th man in the bat here in the first is Luis Cruz. No average, no home runs, no RBIs. Has only played in one game. He went 0 for 3. Cruz, the right-handed hitting catcher, steps in here against former big leaguer Skeeters right-hander Mitch Talbot. This one swung and fouled off to the right side. Robinson at first started and stopped. Cruz undrafted at Dominican Republic, signed by the Cards in 2011. Got as high as AAA Memphis in the Card system last year. Career numbers 264, 14 home runs, 101 RBIs. The 0-1 here from Talbot to Cruz. He will kick and fire, and this one is hit into center field. This should hold up for Miller. And Derek has it in center for the final out. But not before York sends 8 men to the plate here in the first. They get 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. York 3, Skeeters coming to bat for the first time when we return. We move to the bottom of the first. Skeeters already down 3-0. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for your Sugarland Skeeters, brought to you by MemberSource Credit Union. Whether it's a Skeeters checking account, an auto loan, or a home loan, be sure to check out MemberSource's complete lineup at membersourcecu.org. Leading off is Josh Prince. He'll be at second. Batting second, and at first is Travis Scott. The right fielder is Jeremy Barfield. He'll be in the 3-hole. The cleanup hitter, Andy Wilkins, is the DH. Kevin Aarons at third, bats fifth. Lance Zawadzki bats sixth. He'll be at short. Center fielder Derek Miller bats seventh. Batting eighth, the switch hitting catcher Albert Cordero. And batting ninth, left fielder Joe Benson.
In the field for the York Revolution, from left to right in the outfield, it's Robinson, Witherspoon, and Mitchell. Left side of the infield, Dent at third, Trianfel at short. Franco at first base, and Burgess on the right. Luis Cruz is behind the plate for the right-handed starter, Curtis Parch.
Well, in steps Prince. Prince starting to take a lot more pitches, getting on base more, and stealing as well. And that's really his game. This one, a strike on the outside corner. Prince last night, 3 walks alone, had a single, so on base 4 times yesterday. Stole a base and scored a run. The 0-1 here by the right-hander Parch. This one is inside 1-1. Today, by the way, is the 20th anniversary of the first ever game played in the Atlantic League. Back then, there was a 125 game schedule, unlike the 140 game we have now, so they started a little later. It was a game between the Atlantic City Surf, who won the championship the first year, against the Somerset Patriots. happy anniversary to the Atlantic League. No candles, no cake, nothing.
Well, you were supposed to bring them.
I was going to get the cake, and you were going to get the candles, but without candles,
Getting
I
87,
didn't
88,
feel
isn't it?
I needed a cake.
I was going to say, that looks harder than...
Who splits up the cake and candle duties? I've never heard of that before.
It's a big job, Andy. It's
Okay.
very big. And I couldn't find the big 2-0, so I needed 20 individual candles. This one's ball 4 as Prince walks again for the 4th time in his last 6 at-bats. Let's see if he takes off here. Do you run Prince down 3-0 early is the question.
I let this inning play out a little bit, then maybe send him. But I don't get this aggressive in the bottom of the 1st inning, even with a 3 spot up there for York at the top of the 1st.
Keep in mind, though, it's a 7-inning game, so it kind of creeps up on you a bit quicker here.
Yeah, you do think about that. That's why I let this inning play out and see what Scott and Barfield do.
And Prince was about a third of the way down, trying to go back and forth and distract Parch, but he gets back to first. This pitch misses for a ball, 1-0 on Scott. Scott 283, 2 home runs, and 12 RBIs. In yesterday's game, he snapped an 0 for 17 streak. So going 0 for 16 against Somerset. Made it out in his first at bat. Wound up 2 for 4 last night with 2 runs scored. Scott 23 for 60, hitting .383 here at Constellation Field this year. 1 ball and 1 strike as Scott chases a high fastball. Skeeters are trailing 3-0 here in the bottom of the 1st, so Curtis Parch, the right-hander, for the Revolution, had a 3 spot before he ever took the mound. Parch came in 0 for 3 with a .553 ERA. And scoring to bunt is Scott with the third baseman back. Dent never would have gotten him. Good idea there by Scott. Parch, 30 years old, 6'5", 240 from Merced, California. He was selected in the 49th round by the Giants in 2005 out of high school, Merced High School. Then was also drafted in the 26th round 2 years later by the Reds in 2007 out of Merced College. His hometown was good to him. The 1-2 inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last year at AAA with the Indianapolis Indians, 2-2 at .224 ERA. 10 minor league seasons. He is 48 and 57 with a .457 ERA. Made his major league debut on June 9th of 2013 with the Reds. The 2-2 here to Scott from the right-hander Parch. This one swung and drilled out to right field. Will it stay fair? No. A long foul ball. Scott really turned on it, and that's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Parch has made it to the majors in parts of 3 seasons with the Reds and the Pirates. Big league numbers of 1-1 with a .552 ERA in 22 games. At Merced College, he was just 4-6 with a .738 ERA. Last time out, he took the loss as this one's a ball running the count full on Scott. 4-3 loss. He had 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, but only 2 earned. 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, 92 pitches, which he has done in each of his 2 starts. Almost identical numbers, too, all the way across the board. Lost both games to Long Island. This one outside, ball 4. Parch, much like Talbot, fighting it here in the first. He walks the first 2 batters he faces with a 3-run lead. And intercepts Jeremy Barfield. Talk about no quit. The Skeeters went into the 9th inning down 6-2. Barfield hit a 3-run homer to make it 6-5, but the Skeeters fell a little short and lost by that score.
That was right after 2 straight walks by Prince and Scott. Almost identical situation.
Barfield now takes over sole possession of the league lead in home runs with 8, along with hitting .283 and 18 RBIs. Let's see if that home run catapults him. Been a little bit of a slide. First pitch to Jeremy. This one is high and off the mid of Cruz, and the throw down to third. That is going to have Josh Prince by quite a bit. Oh, they called him safe. Wow.
I don't think he got the tag down. And he's talking with it right now, the third baseman Dent, but I don't think he got that tag down in time. I think Prince slid under it.
Hey, Mark Mason, the manager for the Revolution in his 5th season with York, going to come out to argue this one. I don't think he's going to win it. It's going to be a wild pitch, I guess you got to call it.
Well, I don't know. It popped out of the glove.
Let's see what they score.
It'll be an interesting ruling.
That was a crazy play all the way around. Big break there for the Skeeters. Could have been an out with a runner at second. Instead of second and third and nobody out. Now Barfield, even with a hit here, makes it a one-run ball game. So 1 ball and no strikes to count here to Barfield.
Pass ball.
Yep. The 1-0, this one's swung and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. See if Barfield can get RBIs number 19 and 20 here with a base hit. Barfield last night with that home run, 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Well, he's just 8 for 46 before that, a 137 mark over his previous 11 games. The 1-1. Swung and missed 1 and 2. Before that, Barfield was 17 for 49, hitting an 11 of 12 at a 347 clip. So it's been a little feast or famine for him lately. Got off to a phenomenal start. You can't hit that way all season. He was hitting over 400. Nobody's ever hit 400 here in the Atlantic League in 20 seasons. The 1-2. Swung and hit up the middle for a base hit. That'll score Prince. Let's see if they wave around Scott. Nope, they're going to hold him up. And the Skeeters cut it to 3-1. Thanks to Jeremy Barfield, single up the middle.
Really nicely done. Couldn't have placed it much better in between those middle infielders. And really nice job by Barfield. He was down 1-2 there and had to protect, but was able to get something down low and drive it into center.
Well, now a sac fly could make it a 1-run game as Andy Wilkins steps in. Wilkins 259, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, and you look at his numbers lately, you say, yeah, well, he's not hitting a ton, but I'm telling you, he has been extremely unlucky. Everything he hits right now is crushed. It just seems to be at somebody. Let's see if Wilkins can get it done here. Wind not in his favor or for any left-handed hitter today. It's not super strong, 6 miles an hour, but we'll fight it from the left side. This one skied down the left side, and looking at it is Ryan Dent, the third baseman, but he runs out of room as that one goes into the stands. We might have a high-scoring affair here in a 7-inning contest. Usually these games are 2-1 or 4-3.
These guys finally got a night to rest a little bit.
Yep. The 0-1 to Wilkins. This one swung and hit to the right side and over the mid of Michael Burgess and into right field. Scoring easily is Travis Scott. Barfield will go all the way around to third, and we'll see if they rule out a hit or an error. It was hit hard, but it hopped right over the mid of Burgess to his right.
It did take a funny hop, but it was hit right to the fielder. Those are one of those plays where if it is ruled an error, it's kind of harsh, but there's not much you can do as far as an official score is concerned. I really couldn't tell. But either way, pretty nice job by Wilkins to get something hittable. And once again, he's been hitting some balls on the screws lately.
I would score to hit only because of the velocity it was hit at, but we'll see how they rule it. It looks like they're going to give him a hit. So on is nubbed to the right side, kind of a swinging bunt here. Barfield's going to score easily, and the Skeeters have tied it up here. So Wilkins with the hit, and now Aarons gets just a weak little ground out, and he gets an RBI out of it. The Skeeters erase a 3-0 deficit right away. We'll bring in Lance Zawatsky, the Skeeters left-handed hitting shortstop. And you wonder how Gary's going to use Zawatsky and Aarons. Both of them can play both third and short. The question is, eventually, do you settle at one position most of the time? First pitch to Zawatsky. This one is hit to second. The second baseman, Franco, will throw it to first. 4-3 on the putout. Wilkins goes down to third. So in steps Derek Miller. Miller up to 297. 2 home runs and 12 RBIs for Derek. Derek last night on base 3 times with 2 walks and a single. He's really been getting on base. In fact, he comes into today's action 108 points higher than his average. 297 he's batting is a 405 on base percentage. This one is low and away. 1 ball and no strikes to count. 3-3 your score here in the first. This one is chopped foul at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. The Skeeters have made this a brand new ball game right away. You hate to kind of climb that uphill battle for the second night in a row. Perhaps Mitch Talbot will settle down quickly. This momentum have shifted back towards the Skeeters. The 1-1. This one, good off-speed pitch, catches the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 1-2 the count here on Miller. The second baseman, Franco, is deep at second. And the 1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smothered by Cruz. No chance for Wilkins to come home. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. 3 in here. 3-3 your score at the bottom of the first. Talbot threw 27 pitches in the first inning, and his counterpart here has already thrown 24. The 2-2. Swollen and hit high and deep in the air to left field, going back to the track at the wall and caught right in front of the manual scoreboard in left. Miller gave it a ride, but just a little bit short. But the Skeeters tie it up, scoring 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base through an inning. It is York 3 and the Skeeters 3. Yep. Correct.
Yep.
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 Correct. Seriously? Wait, okay, now.
What?
1, 3, 4, 3. We move to the top of the second inning. Skeeters right-hander Mitch Talbot, the newest member of the Skeeters, allowed 3 runs in the first, but his team answered with 3 runs of their own, so we start the top of the second, tied at 3-3. Only batter not to hit against Talbot in the first is the number 9 hitter, right fielder Jared Mitchell. Mitchell comes in 127 with a home run and 7 RBIs. Bats here from the left side against the right-hander. First pitch by Talbot, just off the outside corner, 1-0. Talbot in the first inning threw 27 pitches, 18 for strikes. They set up inside the 1-0, squaring to bunt here and taking it just a drop low, 2 balls and no strikes. Talbot wearing number 24 out there. Bit of a humid day, but very nice. The 2-0 by Talbot. This one is outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Talbot walked 1 in the first, allowed 4 hits, however. Does not want to start the second by walking off the leadoff man. The 3-0. This one is strike on the outside corner, 3-1 the count.
You don't want to walk this guy either because this guy's really been slumping. He's 0 for his last 26 at-bats.
Yikes. Open stance from the left side for the right fielder Mitchell. The 3-1, swollen and chopped foul at the plate, 3-2 as Talbot tries to battle back here. You got to just challenge a guy who's got a big offer like that. Mitchell steps back in here. See if they come back inside. Nope, they're going to set up away. That's one swung and fouled back. Mitchell chased the ball high and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes, but probably a little too close to take. See if Talbot can get the leadoff man here. Payoff pitch by Talbot. This one swung and a miss. Strike 3. Second K of the day, and there is one away. Mitchell strikes out to lead off the second. Back to the top of the order now with Jose Constanza. Constanza singled his first time up. Came in 247, no home runs, and 5 RBIs. Constanza came in 8 for his last 21. It's a 381 mark. He's hitting very, very well right now. So in steps the left-hander hitting DH. First pitch here is high and outside 1-0. You don't often see your DH leading off, but maybe he needs a rest from the field. The 1-0 here by Talbot. This one is a strike down the middle. And do you think the days of the prototypical speedy leadoff man, slap hitter kind of guy is going away, or maybe there's just not enough of them?
I think they are going away.
You see a lot more guys who actually have some power and don't have speed in the leadoff spots these days. Schwarber from the Cubs, a good example.
George Springer.
Yep, there you go. Even Moneyball days, so it's not like it's new. I mean, you had Giambi leading off for the A's at one time. This one grounded to the right side, slow roll. Talbot over the runner, throws him out. Nice play by the Skeeters right-hander.
Well, it's a different approach to things in that Moneyball concept kind of goes away from the stolen base side of the equation. So why not have a guy who has a lot of power to try and give you a 1-0 leadoff homer?
But on the other hand, if you do have a guy like that on your team, do you think teams are shying away from it, maybe batting that guy ninth now instead of in the leadoff spot?
What, the big power guy?
No, the speedy guy.
Well, the speedy guy, I think that's also a thing. The speedy guy also bats ninth, so you can turn the lineup over. The big on-base guy can be at the bottom of the lineup so that you can get to the top spot again.
You have your exceptions like we saw with Lancaster. They have a guy who stole 99 bases last year. It's hard not to put a guy like that, but I think he is the exception. No balls and 1 strike the count here on Ryan Dent. This one swung and a miss. 0-2, and Talbot will have 3 runs in the first, a strike away from having a 1-2-3 inning here. Last pitch was 87 miles an hour by Talbot. We get the sign by Cordero. Cordero sets up away here in the 0-2. This one is just a little high and outside. Good pitch there, 1-2, trying to get him to chase. See Dent kind of practicing there. Wants to keep his left shoulder in and back. Don't want to fly open and be way out in front. The 1-2. This one in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. 3-3 here in the top of the second. Ira Liebman along with Andy Humphrey, bringing you game 1 of 2 today, a day-night affair. This one began at 12. Game 2 will start at 6. Also another day-night doubleheader coming up on this homestand against the Somerset Patriots on Tuesday. The 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. What a rebound by Talbot. After 3 runs in the first and 4 hits, he has a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts. His 3rd K of the day, and there is 3 away. Middle of the second, still tied at 3 between the Skeeters and the Revolution. We move to the bottom of the second inning. Skeeters, who trailed 3-0 after the top of the first, have 3 of their own in the bottom of the third. They will try to take their first lead of the game here as they send up 8-9-1. Albert Cordero, Joe Benson, and then back to the top of the order with Josh Prince. Cordero comes in 3-0-3 with a home run and 5 RBIs for the switch hitting catcher, batting here from the left side against right-hander Curtis Parch. Partch. The first pitch, check swing. May have went through though. A appeal he did not. So 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Cordero. Cordero 4 for his last 18 over his last 6 games. That is a .222 average. The 1-0, high and outside 2-0. They're a big part of the Skeeters championship last year, although Wilfredo Rodriguez got most of the catching duties in the playoffs. The 2-0 swung and a miss, 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Last pitch 90 by Parch. Parch working quickly here. He'll kick and deal the 2-1. Swung a hit to the right side. Franco to his left, scoops it up, and will throw out Cordero. 4-3, and there's 1 down. In steps the number 9 hitter Joe Benson. Benson, the right-hand hitting left fielder, comes in 194, no home runs, 6 RBIs, just trying to get on track here. Oh, what a huge boost he would be, because he acts as another leadoff hitter from the 9 spot with his speed and power combined, but really off to a tough start here. Just 1 for his last 17 over his last 5 games, an .058 mark. Previous 3 games, looked like he was coming out of it, and there's a way to get out. He bunts it left side of the mound. They won't have a play. There's what you do when you have speed and you're in a slump. Oh, a 1-out bunt single here by Benson.
It's quick recognition, knowing that the third baseman's way back and putting it down the third base line. And the pitcher had come off as well. That perfect spot right in the middle of that infield diamond makes confusion for the pitcher and the third baseman as to who's going to take it. So that's well done by Joe Benson.
See if Benson decides to go at some point. As we go back to the top of the order with Josh Prince. Pretty good speed here between Prince and Benson. First pitch here to Prince. This one is swung. A hit down the right field side. Mitchell gives it a look, but he'll quickly run out of room here. So no balls and 1 strike to count. Benson has stolen 3 bases, has not been caught. In fact, the Skeeters as a team have only been caught 4 times. They are 32-36. Prince walked and scored his first time up. Came in .267 with 3 home runs and 16 RBIs. This one an off-speed pitch, delayed steal. Benson goes, and he's going to get in there only because the throw is extremely wide and to the left side of second. Otherwise, they may have had him.
Even a slightly online throw would have gotten Benson, and it was just to the wrong side. If it was offline to the right, they would have gotten him easily, but it was offline to the left, which forced the second baseman to reach back over and try and tag Benson, and they couldn't get him.
Not a fan of the delayed steal, but I guess Benson saw something he liked. 4th steal of the season now. Now runner at second with nobody out. See if Prince can poke it to the right side. 0-2 the count on Prince. 3-3 here in the bottom of the second inning. Skeeters trying to take their first lead of the game here. They're going to set up outside. Let's see if Prince goes with it. And check swing, but on the outside corner, strike 3. That's a big strikeout for Parch. First strikeout of the game for Curtis. And with 2 outs and a runner down at second, Travis Scott will step in. Scott has walked and scored in this one. Travis came in .283, 2 home runs and 12 RBIs. Scott last year for the Skeeters, .260 for a career high 16 home runs and 67 RBIs in 113 games. First pitch, this one high and outside. That was cross up between Parch and Cruz. 1 ball and no strikes to count. For Parch so far, he has thrown 33 pitches now, 20 for strikes. They set up inside here on the Skeeters left end, hitting first baseman Travis Scott. This one swung in. Foul back, 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 3-3 here in the bottom of the second inning. Barge slowing down here in the second. At this rate, I don't know if he'll make it to the fifth. The 1-1 here to Scott. Swung a hit to the right side. Gloved by the first baseman Burgett. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that will do it. Skeeters get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We are through 2, and we're still tied at 3. We move to the top of the third inning. Mitch Talbot, in his Skeeters debut, will just go 2 innings. He will make way for Cameron Stanton, who will take over here, and also taking over my friend Andy, who is always handy. Andy Humphrey, it's all yours, Andy.
Well, thank you, Ira. So a quick day for Mitch Talbot. It's his first day with the team, so in all honesty, you can't really expect him to go too far. So in comes Cameron Stanton, the son of the longtime left-handed reliever in the big leagues, Mike Stanton. Cameron was drafted in the 30th round by the Braves just last year and was with the rookie club in Danville for the Braves. 1-1 with a 2.57 ERA. Went to college at St. Edward's University in Austin. Here he'll face the 3-4-5 hitters. Here's Angel Franco, who takes a first pitch low for ball 1. Franco reached on a fielder's choice and came around to score in the first inning. Takes a called strike here, and it's 1-1. Franco not a participant in yesterday's game. He's a 269 hitter with a homer and 8 RBIs. 1-1 is fouled to the left-hand side. And it's quickly 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stanton, in his so far brief time with the Skeeters, thrown just 2 innings, giving up 3 hits, 1 run. So that's an ERA of 4.5. A walk and a strikeout as well. This one misses inside. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Michael Burgess and Carlos Trienfeld will follow Franco here in the batting order for York. It's a 3-3 ball game. Breaking ball misses low from Stanton, and the count fills up at 3-2.
Franco last year with Omaha at AAA, 220, a home run, 15 RBIs.
Lefty batter, righty pitcher, the payoff pitch inside, ball 4. And the first batter, Cameron Stanton, faces, he walks. So that'll bring up Michael Burgess.
We talked about at the beginning of the game, and of course, this is Talbot's first outing, so you can't expect him to go 5-6 innings, but once again, not a lot out of your starter.
True that, as Michael Burgess stands in, and it probably would have been played a little bit differently if it was a 9-inning game instead of a 7.
Also true.
So a runner on first and nobody out for Burgess, who struck out swinging against Talbot his first time up. The first pitch is low for ball 1. Not sure where that missed.
Me neither. Looked good.
Looked good over the plate. Scott holding on the runner at first, draws a pickoff move, and going back to the bag is Franco.
Yeah, no, I know, but then the other arm is the guy that can seriously fill in the footway level.
Franco has stolen 1 base this year. He's also been caught.
I want to see that guy.
As the next pitch is fired high to Burgess, 2-0 now to the first baseman for York. Carlos Trienfeld on deck in a 3-3 ball game. We're in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm trying to see.
Left-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher as Stanton steps off the rubber. And that allows Burgess to step out of the box. 2-0 the count with a runner on first and nobody out. Stanton with a peek back at first. Now the 2-0 comes home. High again. 3 balls and no strikes.
Burgess has spent time in the Atlantic League before, 2015 with Somerset, then the Mexican League last year, also spent time with York, and back here at the Revolution again this year.
Journeyman.
Yes, indeed. Just 28 years old still.
3-0 is high, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to Burgess, and Stanton walks the first 2 batters he faces after coming in as the new pitcher in the 3rd.
Stanton, a pretty good control pitcher, but seems everybody's having trouble with control today. And now here comes Rafi Montalvo. Going to try to settle down the 22-year-old right-hander. And he's definitely holding his own, but, this is a league that, for years they've talked about the average age being 27, guys who are AA, AAA in the majors. So you got to remember, Stanton is a guy who hasn't seen AA and AAA and big league guys. So and he's still learning the approach here. Okay.
Hasn't been in professional baseball for very long, just 1 professional season. This is his 2nd. And Stanton talking things over with the pitching coach Rafi Montalvo. 2 straight walks, and the first man out of the pen for the Skeeters last night, Chris Tribut, did that exact same thing, and that was with runners on already. So Skeeters bullpen having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone. They walked 5 batters last night, the bullpen did. Had 4 strikeouts. So here comes Carlos Trienfeld, comes in on the right-handed side of the batter's box with runners at first and second and nobody out in this top of the 3rd in a 3-3 tie. First pitch from Stanton, breaking ball misses low.
It was a big looping curve, almost broke right over the heart of the plate. Actually, I think it broke too much.
Carlos drew a walk earlier, so you might think that he would be pretty patient against Stanton after he walked the first 2 guys. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball this time catches the inside corner for a called strike. Stanton needed that after 5 straight balls. And it's 1-1. Both teams scored 3 runs in the first inning. And then both pitchers delivered scoreless frames in the second. York threatening in the top of the 3rd. Here's the 1-1 showing bunt, and it's inside, kicks away from Cordero as he goes to the backstop. Both runners will move up a bag.
He was crossed up there. Probably should have had it reached inside. I got to give him a pass ball on that one. I know it was a difficult play to make, but
it's a pass ball, but it's hard done on Cordero because, again, they were crossed up, and that's, you don't know whose fault that might be. But it certainly was a catchable ball, and it just glanced off the mid of Cordero.
Officially ruled a pass ball.
That's number 2 on the season for Albert.
And the Skeeters bring the infield in here as well.
Second and third, nobody out, a 2-1 count against Carlos Trienfeld. Here's the pitch, inside again, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Travis Witherspoon on deck, much more difficult hitter. First base is open here. He likes to go after Witherspoon, but Witherspoon a better hitter than Trienfeld.
And Witherspoon already has a bases loaded single in this game. Stanton set at the letters, the 3-1. A hard chopper over the glove of Ahrens and into left field for a base hit. Both runners will score as it rolls into the corner. Trienfeld racing into second base. He'll get there standing up. A 2-run RBI double by Carlos Trienfeld, and York retakes the lead 5-3.
That ball just bounced over the head of Ahrens. He tried to chase it behind the bag at third. Just took a high chopper, had no chance for it.
So another big hit that drives in 2 runs for York. And up steps the guy who had the other 2 RBI hit earlier in this game, Travis Witherspoon. Witherspoon, last night 3 for 5, today so far 1 for 1. Breaking out of that slump that he was in earlier. First pitch in the dirt and kicks away from Cordero again. Going to third is Trienfeld. The throw is in time. They tag him out. Ahrens with the tag on Trienfeld, and they catch him on the base pads. 2-5.
Good play by Cordero. It was certainly a risk for Trienfeld. That was only the first out. You never want to make the first out going to third.
Was in the dirt and probably would have been a wild pitch if Trienfeld had been safe. Here's the 1-0 to Witherspoon. It's on the outside corner for a called strike, 1-1. So 1 out and the base is empty now. A little bit easier situation for Stanton. Here's the pitch, and it's a slider low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Witherspoon, who was a 12th round pick by the Los Angeles Angels in 2009. Spartanburg Methodist College in South Carolina. He lines one to right field. Racing over to his right is Barfield. He makes the catch. 2 away.
It was a great play by Barfield. He made it look very nonchalant and easy, but that was not easy. Looked like it was headed to hit the ground on 1 hop for a base hit, but Barfield ran over, cut off the gap pretty quickly, and just lunged to his right, grabbed before it hit the top of the grass.
Yeah, Witherspoon once again with good contact, but Barfield was even to that one, and it's 2 outs now with the bases empty. Derek Robinson, the left fielder, stands in. York now up 5-3 in this top of the third. Here's the pitch, showing bunt as Robinson pulls it back and takes a strike on the lower third of the zone. Robinson drove in a run on a single in the first for York. 0-1 on the way. Outside. So the Skeeters once again will have to find the offense later in this game. Remember, it's just 7 innings. We're in the top of the third. 1-1 pitch is fouled back. Robinson with a 1-ball and 2-strike count. 21 pitches in this inning for Stanton. Luis Cruz on deck if Derek Robinson can reach. Here's the 1-2 from Stanton. Swung on and missed. A nice breaking pitch to end the inning. Stanton earns a strikeout, but 2 more runs come across for York on just 1 hit. And we head to the bottom of the third with the score 5-3 Revolution. York back on top 5-3 as we head to the bottom of the third inning at Constellation Field. Alongside Ira Liebman, I'm Andy Humphrey as Curtis Parch stands in on the mound for his third inning of work. He'll face Barfield, Wilkins, and Ahrens, the 3-4-5 hitters for Sugarland. Barfield an RBI single his first time up. He also came around to score later in the first inning. Big 3-run homer last night that almost brought the Skeeters all the way back. They were down by 4 runs entering the ninth. Barfield delivered a 3-run shot, but the Skeeters did fall short, losing the game 6-5. Barfield chose bunt on the first pitch, but pulls it back on a pitch low and away.
He's already done that once this year, bunted for a single with the third baseman back. They always talk about ending on a good note, but when you rally and you fall short, do you think it really does carry over into the next game? Or?
Oh, I think so. For sure, especially for that batter that delivered the big hit. He shows bunt again, and it's low and away again. 2-0.
Surprising. Barfield bunting twice there. Maybe just trying to scare him. Dent's not falling for it. He's still playing deep at third.
2-0 on the way. Barfield hits one a mile in the air and deep. Going back is Robinson. He runs out of room. That one's gone. Jeremy Barfield goes deep for the second consecutive game. 9 homers on the season for Barfield, and the Skeeters cut the lead in half. It's 5-4 York.
Barfield hit it just high enough, and I always talk about when the wind comes in from left, it blows out to left field, and Barfield's second home run as many nights. Maybe it does indeed carry over for that individual.
Well, the day's not over either. He's got another game to do.
It's true.
Andy Wilkins stands in. So the Skeeters still with that pop. Even in a losing effort last night, they still were able to send some out, even with the wind, which is ever changing here, but consistently blows from the outfield wall as Wilkins takes a called strike on the outer corner. Wilkins an RBI single in the first as well. And he held up on the swing, and the pitch was low. They're appealing, and Jim Tatum finally puts up the safe sign to say no swing. 1-1 now. Wilkins with a hard shot past the first baseman Burgess. It was right underneath his glove, but it was hit hard enough to be ruled a base hit. 1-1 is high and kicks behind the catcher Cruz. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Wilkins, the designated hitter today in this game. See if he gets a chance to play the field later at either first or third. 2-1. Check swing, and the pitch was high. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Wilkins. Kevin Ahrens on deck for the Skeeters, who trail by 1. Base is empty and 1 out in this bottom of the third. 3-1. Hit high in the air but foul, and will get out of play to the left.
That's another Raising Kings in Sugarland. Foul ball.
Wilkins with 5 homers on the season, 14 RBIs, came into this game batting .259. Came in last night as a pinch hitter for the designated hitter spot. As he swings and foul tips it, but Cruz couldn't hang on, so Wilkins stays alive at 3-2. Wilkins was 0 for 2 in his role as a substitute yesterday. Lefty batter against the righty pitcher Curtis Parch. Payoff pitch. Chopped foul and fielded by the on-deck hitter Kevin Ahrens. It'll go into the Skeeters dugout. 45 pitches now for Parch. Infield shaded to the right-hand side, leaving a big hole in between Dent and Trienfeld on the left side of the infield. 3-2. Bounce foul again to the right-hand side. Kicks off the bat stop. Skeeters down just a run. 5-4 in this so far offensive contest, which will only last 7 innings, as that one's fouled back. At least we think it'll last 7 innings, as long as it doesn't go into extras.
Now you've done it.
Well, got me going. Couldn't stop myself. Wilkins has fouled off a few pitches here. He stayed alive at 3-2. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again behind the screen. Still 3-2 to Wilkins. We'll see a 10th pitch in the battle between Wilkins and Parch. Well, it's been a cloudy day for most of it. There is a chance of thunderstorms today, but the sun is peeking through pretty well at the moment. 3-2 pitch is chopped hard and foul again off of first.
It's giving Travis Scott the chase for the record here. It's 11 pitches.
What was it, 16 that we saw?
Mm-hmm.
So that was number 10. Here we're going to see number 11 soon. Parch from the windup delivers another 3-2. Wilkins fouls it off again to the left. So Wilkins really putting up a fight and digging into that energy level for Curtis Parch. Not sure how long he will go. There's no action in the pen for York just yet.
This will actually be pitch number 13 coming here to Wilkins.
Here it is. Wilkins hits it up the middle. Coming in, backhanding it is the second baseman, Franco. Throws across the body to catch Wilkins for out number 2. So a hard-fought battle by Wilkins, but in the end, he is retired for the second out.
Think about how many more pitches that cost Parch after Cruz couldn't hold on to that potential strike 3.
That's just the first out in this inning. The Barfield homer led it off to cut the lead to 1 for York. And now here's Kevin Ahrens, the third baseman. First pitch is a called strike. No balls and a strike to Ahrens, who drove in a run on a slow grounder back to the pitcher in the first inning. 0-1 pitch is swung over the top and missed. No balls and 2 strikes to Ahrens. Local product was drafted in the first round out of Memorial High School in the Houston area, the West Houston side, as he swings and misses over the top of a breaking ball. And he goes down on 3 pitches, 2 away now in the bottom of the third. Zawadzki grounded out to second his first time up in the third. Jumped out on the first pitch against Parch. Infield will shade to the right side once again. Trienfeld playing about 5 feet to the left of second base, leaving a big hole on the left-hand side. Shown bunt, but it's a hard one right to the third baseman, and Dent fires it over to first for the final out. So Dent was creeping on that one. He anticipated the bunt by Zawadzki. He's able to make the play to end the inning. But a leadoff homer by Barfield cuts the lead to 1, and it's 5-4 York after 3 innings. We'll be back at Constellation Field after this. We start the fourth now at Constellation Field. 8-9-1 hitters due up for York as they lead at 5-4. As the first pitch to Luis Cruz is delivered low and away for a ball, 1-0. Cameron Stanton back on the mound for the Skeeters. He quickly delivers the 1-0 pitch, and it's on the outer edge for a called strike. Cruz flied out to center his first time up. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Stanton, and that is low, kicks off the dirt. And it's a 2-1 count now to Cruz, Jared Mitchell, and Jose Constanza will follow Cruz after this at-bat. Stanton with the wind and the 2-1. That's driven well into right center field, but Barfield is there. It hangs up, and he's there to make the catch for the first out. So quickly, Stanton retires Cruz. Jared Mitchell now the batter. Stanton threw 22 pitches in his first inning of work in the third, walked the first two batters he faced, and then the next guy, Carlos Trienfeld, drove in both of those runners on a double. So Stanton trying to recover from that. He'll wind up and deliver to Jared Mitchell. First pitch is low.
Mitchell, former first-round pick of the White Sox out of Louisiana State University. 23rd overall in 2009.
1-0. That's low again. 2 balls and no strikes. Mitchell a strikeout victim in the second inning, so he's now 0 for his last 27 ABs. 2-0, driven well into right center field. Barfield chasing, he's looking up, it will bounce and one-hop the wall. Mitchell on into second base, and that's how you break out of an 0 for 27. Mitchell delivers a one-out double.
That was just crushed up the gap.
He reached to the sky after he got to second base there. He's like, finally.
Surprised he didn't keep the ball.
So he's in scoring position now with 1 out for the top of the order. Second double in the game for York. Trienfeld had the other, and Jose Constanza will stand in. 1 for 2 is the designated hitter for York. He singled in the first inning and grounded back to the pitcher in the second. He'll take the first pitch, and it's on the outer corner for a called strike. Reggie Liggins behind the plate tonight. Home plate umpire and first base umpire John Sevier. At third base is Jin Tatum. Here's the 0-1, and it's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Constanza with Ryan Dent on deck. The scoreboard says 2-0, but I believe the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and it's off the pitcher's glove, and Prince trying to chase it down, but it trickles into right field. Mitchell will be waved home, and he will score. So Constanza hit it right back to the pitcher. It careened off the glove of Stanton. Prince couldn't get to it as it rolled into right field, and it is a 6-4 ball game. York on top.
If that is not deflected by Stanton, I think that's probably an easy out. And even with the deflection, it almost got to Prince, but just kept going away from him. Eventually he had to give up and have Barfield come in. That time it was too late and the run scored.
That pitch was scalded. I would have to think that's a base hit, and it is.
Oh, yeah.
So give an RBI to Constanza, and he's at first, but he goes back to first now on a throw over by Stanton. So now it's a 6-4 ball game. Once again, the Skeeters find themselves down by a couple of runs. Didn't take long for York to answer. The next pitch is driven into left center field. Coming in and making the catch near his shoes is Derek Miller. Drifted into left center field, but caught that on the run for the second out.
It was a great shoestring catch by Miller in the left center field. That looked like it was easily ticketed for a single. Miller gets a lot of great jumps on balls.
Yeah, that one was tough because it started to die pretty quickly, but Miller was able to catch up to it. The wind blew it in, I'm sure, as well. So 2 outs and a man on first for Angel Franco. Fastball right over the heart of the plate for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to the second baseman for York, who has reached both times and scored both times in this game so far. Another move to first base. Stanton, not the quickest of pickoff moves, but just making sure that Constanza, who is a base stealer, doesn't get any ideas.
Maybe that's the show me move, and maybe he's saving his best one. That one a little quicker.
So once again, Constanza getting back in. 2 for 3 on stolen base attempts this year is Costanza. Here's the 0-1, and a breaking ball misses away. 1-1 now to Franco. Left-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher. Native of the Dominican Republic is Franco, his hometown Bonnie. Breaking ball again, that's a beauty, and it falls over the outside corner, or the inside corner, I should say, for a called strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Franco.
He's thrown that a few times already. He has a big looping curveball.
Stanton trying to end the inning here and keep it to just a 1-run frame for York. Runner going on the 1-2. That's driven into left field, and this will get down for a base hit. Benson gets there quickly, but Constanza will go all the way to third on the hit and run, and a single by Franco extends the inning, first and third with 2 down.
It was a good play by Benson, cutting that ball off before it got down the line. Otherwise, Constanza would have scored.
So the inning continues for Burgess, who comes up now, who has struck out and walked so far in this game. Burgess, another guy who was picked in the first round by the Washington Nationals in '07. Was that the first year they were called the Washington Nationals? As that's hit high in the air, down the line in left field. Will they have a play? No, it bounces on the staircase just inside of that wall there in left field.
What year did you say that was?
'07. Was that the year that they switched from Montreal to Washington?
Could be. Let's check it
Could
out.
either be that or '06. I'm not entirely positive. Nope, you know what? I remember now, it's '05. '05 was the year when they moved from Montreal to Washington.
Oddly enough, Mitchell, who was up a few batters ago, was drafted in the first round. The #1 pick that year was Mr. Strasburg.
There you go. No balls and a strike to Burgess, first and third with 2 down, and Burgess hits it right back to the pitcher. Stanton fields it on a hop, and he'll toss to Scott at first to end the inning. So 1 run does score for York on 3 hits. They leave a couple men on base, and it is 6-4 Revs going to the bottom of the 4th at Constellation Field. It'll be Derek Miller, Albert Cordero, and Joe Benson, the 7-8-9 hitters for the Skeeters in this bottom half of the fourth inning, as they trail at 6-4 to the York Revolution. Alongside our Liebman, I'm Andy Humphrey as Curtis Parch back out on the mound for York. He winds and deals to Miller. Showing bunt, and a good one down the third base line. Slow roller, barehanding his dent, and the throw doesn't get there in time. Gets past the first baseman Burgess. Going to second is Miller. He's thinking about third. He'll round second. The throw to third base is not in time and gets past Miller and goes out of bounds, and Miller will get to go home. A Little League homer to make it 6-5 York, as the first pitch yields a run for the Skeeters in the bottom half of the fourth inning.
Beat me to it. 2 errors allowed him to come home. We'll get a bunt single there, but wow. Speed kills, and that's a perfect example. And heads up by Miller going from first to third on their throw. Force the action to third, and then the throw to third goes into the stands.
Yeah, you got to force him to make those kinds of plays. And Miller challenged the arm of the first baseman Burgess. And sure enough, Burgess fired it offline, and it went out of bounds just to the right of that York dugout on the third base line. First pitch to Cordero is way high, and the catcher, Luis Cruz, almost jumped out of his cleats there to catch that one. 1-0 down to Cordero. So an infield single and a couple of errors allow Miller to score, all in one swift motion. Not the way that Parch wanted to start the inning. 1-1 now to Cordero as it's low to make it 2-1.
So we're going to see a few runs today, and there's even one inning in the second that neither team scored. Although that was an E5 and an E3.
So 2 throwing errors. Swung on and missed on the 2-1 by Cordero to even it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So it's an unearned run, but that could change, as the 2-2 is swung on and missed. And Cordero goes down on strikes for out number 1. That is strikeout number 3 from Parch. 1 away, bases empty. Joe Benson, the batter. So Benson, who has been struggling at the plate a little bit, laid down a bunt single in the second inning and stole second in that inning as well. First pitch to Benson. Breaking ball falls over the inside corner for a called strike. Benson playing in left field, as he has done for most of the time when he's been in the lineup, as he swings and fouls one back into the screen. Skeeters are hoping to get Anthony Jansanti back soon, but for now, while he's been out with an injury, they've been short-handed in the outfield, so if there's a guy who gets hurt in that outfield before Jansanti gets back, they might have some trouble, as the breaking ball misses inside to make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Skeeters got into that trouble a couple of years ago. Travis Scott had to play out there. That was not pretty. Scott, a terrific catcher and first baseman, but tougher in the outfield.
1-2 is chopped over the head of the pitcher. Coming in is the shortstop, and just got the out. The throw was high. It took Burgess off the bag, but he was able to get the foot down in time to complete the out on Benson. A high throw from Trienfeld.
Yeah, nice play by Burgess. When you have to go high above the bag and come down, it feels like it is a year. You're just trying to come down like you're on the moon. You can't come down quick enough, but he got down just in time.
So 2 away with the bases empty for Josh Prince. First pitch to Prince is upstairs. A little bit outside as well to make it 1-0 the count. Dent playing even with the bag at third. 1-0, swung on and missed. Looked to be a slider there. 1 ball and 1 strike now to the Skeeters' second baseman, who drew 3 walks in last night's game. He's already drawn a walk today and scored a run. He's also struck out looking today. 1-1. Just low. To make it 2 balls and 1 strike. So Prince drawn 4 walks in 2 games.
He's starting to move up the league leaders. He's now in the top 10, and when Prince is walking a lot, good things happen, not only for him, but for the Skeeters.
He's certainly been one of their most successful base stealers early on in the season as well, but the way things have going, every base stealer has been pretty successful for the Skeeters as the 2-1 is fired upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Prince.
The year the Skeeters set the Atlantic League record for wins, 95, they stole 126 bases, and this team has a chance to beat that.
What are they at now, 32?
Yes.
3-1, upstairs, ball 4. So another walk drawn by Prince. It's the 2nd of the game, 5th of the series.
I say let him run here.
Comes with 2 outs and just the runner at first base, and there's a conference now on the mound called by the pitching coach Paul Fletcher for York.
Mentioned today is the 20th anniversary of the Atlantic League, and Sparky Lyle, who was the manager of the Patriots during that first game against Doc Edwards for the Atlantic City Surf, spoke to him about that very first game ever in the Atlantic League.
I remember driving down to Atlantic City and thinking the whole way that, well, I'm going to start off the season with a loss because they had twice the team that we had. The Surf and the Bluefish were kind of set up to be in the championship. They were the only 2 people that had ballparks back then. So everything was kind of stacked against me. But, you know, to start the game there and see Atlantic City in the background, and the ballpark was gorgeous, and we end up winning the game 8-5.
So the runner at first base and 2 outs now. Nice story there. Certainly is a big occasion, the 20th anniversary of the Atlantic League, as Scott skies one high in the air in left center, racing out his tree and fell. He'll be the one to get underneath, and that ends the 4th inning. But the Skeeters put 1 more run up on the board with the Little League home run by Derek Miller, a bunt single, and then 2 errors brought him around the base pads, and he didn't even need to stop running. It is 6-5 York going to the 5th at Constellation Field.
Another new pitcher on the hill for the Skeeters. That is Trey Haley for Sugar Land. He will be the 3rd pitcher of the night. Number 26 is 6'4", 215 from Nacogdoches, Texas. Last year is with Altoona. Has been as high as AAA and 9 years as a pro for him.
Trey Haley so far with the Skeeters has pitched in 8 innings and only allowed 1 run, so his ERA is down to 1.13. Allowed 5 hits as well, 8 walks, 5 strikeouts for the big right-hander Trey Haley in his 9th appearance in a Skeeters uniform. Comes in for Cameron Stanton, who threw 2 innings in relief, gave up 3 earned runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout for Stanton. So both pitchers so far in this game have pitched 2 innings and given up 3 runs. Mitch Talbot, the starter, and Cameron Stanton, the reliever. So Trey Haley will face the 6-7 or the 5-6-7 hitters in the York lineup. It leads off with Carlos Trienfeld. First pitch is a called strike. Trienfeld was very statue-like on that first pitch from Haley as it rolled over the outer corner. Remember, it's a 7-inning game. We're in the top of the 5th now, so we're only about 3 innings away from deciding a winner. 0-1 pitch was missed. And it's 1-1 now to the right-handed batter Trienfeld against the righty on the mound, Trey Haley. 1-1 pitch is over the inside corner for a called strike 2. Travis Witherspoon and Derek Robinson to follow. The Revs lead at 6-5, out hitting the Skeeters 8-5. York has committed 2 errors. Skeeters have committed 1. 1-2 pitch is slowly rolled back to the pitcher. He comes off the mound to his left-hand side and flips to Scott for the out. So 1 away with the bases empty. Travis Witherspoon, the batter. Witherspoon, a 2 RBI single in the first inning with the bases loaded. In the 3rd inning, he flied out to right.
Haley, who was a 2nd-round pick of the Indians, when he was at Lake County, the Midwest League, was a starter, went 5-11 with a 5.97 ERA, and since has pretty much been a reliever.
First pitch to Witherspoon, nice breaking pitch, and I thought that caught the inside corner just a bit, but it may have stayed high. It's 1-0.
Haley features a fastball, slider, sinker, and a changeup.
Fastball on the 1-0, and that's fouled back by Witherspoon. Center fielder for York was 3 for 5 yesterday, 1 for 2 today. Righty against a righty as the infield plays straight up against him as he swings and misses at the slider outside. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good fastball there by Haley, 92 miles an hour.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed, an off-speed pitch there. So Haley brought the heat for the first couple pitches and then changed it up to get Witherspoon swinging. 2 away.
About 11 miles off that pitch. That last one came in at 81. It's a good change of pace there.
So 2 up and 2 down. Start things off for Haley as he now faces Derek Robinson. First pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen, strike 1. Robinson 1 for 2, an RBI single in the first, a strikeout swinging in the 3rd. Lefty batter, righty pitcher. A very open stance on the left-hand side for Robinson.
His right foot's almost out of the batter's box.
Back heel just catching the chalk there. The 0-1. That's low. York's been scoring pretty well in this series so far as the 1-1 comes home and it's outside. They came in with the 2nd fewest run scores in the Atlantic League on the day. They've scored just 101. Skeeters, as a contrast, are 3rd in the league with 138. York has a team batting .250 coming into today. That's good for 7th out of the 8 teams in the Atlantic League. The 2-1 pitch is delivered low. 3-1 now to Derek Robinson. So York trying to find some offense in the next part of this homestand for the Skeeters, as the 3-1 is hit high in the air to left, and Benson is underneath to complete the out on Robinson. And it's a 1-2-3 frame for Trey Haley. After 5.5 at Constellation Field in game 1 of a doubleheader, it is 6-5 York. Bottom of the 5th we go at Constellation Field. It is York 6, Sugarland 5. And back on the mound is Curtis Parch. He's thrown 71 pitches through 4 innings for the York Revolution. And he'll face the 3-4-5 part of the lineup for the Skeeters. Jeremy Barfield, Andy Wilkins, Kevin Ahrens. This is the first of the doubleheader. We've got a 7-inning game for this contest. Later on tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll have a 9-inning contest between these two clubs. Skeeters lost the series opener yesterday 6-5. Would have been 6-2 if it weren't for this man at the plate now, Jeremy Barfield, who hit a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 9th as the Skeeters attempted a comeback but fell short. Parch with the first pitch to Barfield as it's inside for ball 1. Barfield has gone deep in this game as well. That was a solo shot to lead off the 3rd. He also drove in a run on a single in the 1st. He slaps one hard to the 3rd baseman Dent, who fields it on a hop and throws to 1st for the out. A nice pick by Dent at 3rd.
Looks like Barfield is ready to go on one of his tears. Oddly enough, his home run last night made it 6-5, and that's the score right now.
1 down and the base is empty for Andy Wilkins. Drove in the 2nd Sugarland run in the 1st and grounded out to 2nd base in the 3rd. York and Sugarland scored 3 runs in the 1st inning, but then York inched ahead with 2 runs in the 3rd, thanks to a 2-run RBI double by Carlos Trienfeld, as Wilkins sees a pitch high, and it's 1-0.
74 pitches for Parch, 47 for strikes, 27 for balls. These are the kind of games that a starter could go the distance, whether he wins or loses.
1-0 pitch is inside. Skeeters have had answers for these York runs, but just not enough answers as of yet, as they trail 6-5. Wilkins looks at a pitch high, and it's quickly 3-0. Wilkins, the left-handed hitter, against Parch, the right-handed pitcher. Here's the 3-0, and Wilkins takes a called strike on the inner corner.
Skeeters right-hander. Evan Reed beginning to warm in the Skeeters pen. He may come in the 6th.
2,912 on hand for this first game of a doubleheader as Wilkins takes ball 4 low. So 1 out and 1 on in this 1-run game. And out comes York manager Mark Mason. Looks like he will make a move, but he hasn't signaled just yet, and now he does. So a new hand out of the pen for York as the day is done for Curtis Parch after 4 1/3 innings. We'll step aside as the new man from the bullpen warms up. It is 6-5 York in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, new pitcher on the hill for the Revolution is 28-year-old right-hander Joe Van Meter. Van Meter, number 31, 6'2", 215, originally from Long Island, New York. From Manhasset, now lives in Richmond, Virginia. He's been as high as AA. Last played for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. This year, having a good season, no record of 3.72 ERA. His 10th appearance, in 9 2/3. He has struck at an impressive 12, has walked 6 and allowed 6 hits.
First batter he'll face is Kevin Ahrens, the third baseman for the Skeeters. With a runner on first, that's Andy Wilkins, and 1 out in this bottom of the 5th inning. The Skeeters trail by a run, 6-5. First pitch from Van Meter is low for ball 1 to Ahrens, who has been retired both times. He drove in a run in the first inning on a ground ball and struck out in the third. Van Meter brings it to the letters, and the 1-0 is swung on and fouled off the leg of Ahrens. So it's a ball and a strike now.
Parch, who left this game with a 6-5 lead, cannot qualify for the win, going just 4 1/3, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and the runner at first, Wilkins, still his responsibility. So he cannot lose it, and he cannot win it.
So it'll be up to the bullpens to try and decide it. 1-1 on the way to Ahrens. Takes it low, just below the knees. 2 balls and a strike to Ahrens. And a good guy to have on the Skeeters, a local product. Played high school ball here and was drafted out of high school in the first round, mind you. 2-1. Slapped foul down the third base line. Kicks off the York dugout on the third base line.
Van Meter allowed just 1 run over his first 7 appearances, but he has allowed 3 runs in his last 2. Last time out, in a 6-3 loss to the Ducks. He went 1 inning, allowed 1 run on 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 2.
Two balls and 2 strikes, a runner at first base, and 1 down. Skeeters trail by a run. They have the go-ahead run at the plate. 2-2. In the dirt, blocked by Cruz. So make it 3-2 now.
Van Meter has some Texas ties, originally drafted by the Rangers in the 21st round out of Virginia Commonwealth University in 2010. Spent 4 seasons in the Rangers system, also played with Tampa Bay and the Orioles Chains.
Moves to first, and back is Wilkins. York pitching staff has been doing pretty well in the early going in this season. Second in the league with a 3.51 team ERA. 3-2, hit hard into left field, and that will get down for a base hit and get all the way to the wall. Wilkins round second, goes to third. He will stay at third. Aarons cruises into second with a double. So now it's second and third and just 1 out for the Skeeters. They have the go-ahead run in scoring position for Lance Zawatsky.
Gary Gaddy was tempted to wave around Wilkins, but Wilkins not always the fastest guy in the world, and probably the right move there. Unless you get the lefty-righty matchup with left-hand hitting Zawatsky coming to the plate.
And Zawatsky looking for his first base hit of the series. Was 0 for 3 last night with a walk, is 0 for 2 so far today.
York will bring in the infield here as well.
Corners are in at the grass. Looks like the middle infield is maybe at halfway depth. First pitch to Zawatsky. Breaking ball is low.
Feel in, Zawatsky's going to get under a ball here. If he hits it to right, the wind could hold it up a little, but certainly would be deep enough to get a sac fly RBI. Base hit would give the Skeeters the lead. Big gap in left center.
Yeah, he's probably thinking line drive here. The 1-0 is low and away. 2 balls and no strikes, so a favorable count now for Lance.
When Delwyn Young was here with the Skeeters, even though he was a switch hitter and batted a lot from the left side since most pitchers are righties, he said Constellation Field actually made him a better hitter because it would force him to hit a lot more line drives to right field, because if you hit him in the air here, they're going to stay up.
2-0. That's on the inner or the outer corner. To make it 2-1 now to Lance, who has yet to take the bat off the shoulder in this plate appearance. See what he does here and see what he gets on 2-1 from Van Meter. Joe delivers the 2-1 upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike, so good hitter count here for Lance. With runners at second and third and just 1 out, the Skeeters trail by a run in this bottom of the 5th inning. Remember, all we need to play is 7 in this first game of the doubleheader. From the stretch, here's Van Meter with a 3-1. Driven well into right center field. This will hang up in the air. A diving play, but he's not going to get there. The center fielder, Witherspoon, kicked around in the outfield. Both runners will score on the play. Zawatsky heading for third. The throw to third base is not handled by the third baseman, Dent. Zawatsky slid early and didn't get all the way to the bag, but there was no tag applied because Dent didn't catch the ball. Either way, Zawatsky drives in the tying and go-ahead runs to make it 7-6 Sugarland.
Zawatsky a little slow to get up, and he's going to take some ribbing from his teammates, coming up a little short. Now the Skeeters trainer will come out, take a look at him, probably maybe just a scrape on his arm somewhere. And it was very lucky because both runners had to hold up to see if the outfielders would come up with it, and after Mitchell missed it, it was then kicked towards left center field, which really allowed the second run to score, and for Zawatsky to get in there. Is Zawatsky going to come out of this game?
I think he is. I think they signaled for him to get a sub out there.
Wow, he was already short with the injury to Jan Sandy. I'm going to take it would be Albert Cordero, who
Cordero's already in the game.
That's
You've
right.
got Rodriguez, Piles, and the injured Jansanti on the bench.
well, you'd probably defensively move Cordero to third and then have Rodriguez catch.
Well, here comes Jansanti.
Oh, wow. Well, he can run. I just don't know if he could hit or throw
Yeah,
yet.
you gotta. Don't know how limited he might be. So here comes Anthony Jansanti. This is his first appearance back since he injured himself in the last homestand.
Running for you, Shirley Skeeters, 21.
And he got injured diving for a ball in deep right center field on the first play of the day back on May 12th. That was 8 days ago.
Kind of ironic. He comes in for a guy who just injured himself diving kind of a similar way. This one into third. Jansanti dove into right center and scraped himself up on the warning track here.
So he's pinch running at third, and the batter is Derek Miller. The infield in on the grass as the Skeeters have a 7-6 lead now over York in the bottom of the fifth. Miller came all the way around the bases with a bunt single and a couple of errors to help him out as he fouls one into the screen to make it 0-2.
York brings the infield in here. A sac fly could give the Skeeters a little insurance here.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's a breaking ball low blocked by Cruz. So on that last play, Zawadzki gets a double, and he advances to third on an E9 because it was kicked around in the outfield by the right fielder Mitchell. So a double, and he does drive in both runners. Here's the 1-2 to Miller, in the dirt again. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder for the Skeeters. Seven 6 now. The Skeeters lead over the Revs with Jansanti at third and the infield in on the grass. Just one out in this bottom of the fifth. 2-2 to Miller. Hit high and deep. Will it stay fair? No. It goes foul. Hit a mile in the air and just past that left field pole. So still 2-2 to the center fielder Miller with Albert Cordero on deck. Another breaking ball, and that's in the dirt low again. So Miller fell behind 0-2, worked it back full to 3-2. And Meter came in 2 batters ago with 1 out in the inning, still has not recorded an out and has thrown 17 pitches. Here's number 18, and it's fouled back by Miller.
That's another racing case in Sugar Land. Foul ball.
Remember, it's a 7-inning game, and the Skeeters have a 1-run lead and are now 6 outs away from getting the win, the 3-2. Driven well into left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. It'll go all the way to the wall. Jansanti scores easily from third. On his horse to second base is Miller. He drives in a run on a double, and it's 8-6 Skeeters in the fifth.
I don't have to worry about Jansanti's health. All I had to do is trot home. Of course, the injury to his hand, but Miller having a gravy. Little league home run, and now an RBI double.
Last 4 batters have all reached, and the last 3 batters have all hit doubles. Here's Albert Cordero. See if he can keep that streak going, the double streak. He's 0 for 2 today. He has grounded out to second and struck out. It's one high in the air in shallow left center. Racing over is the shortstop, Trienfeld. It'll drop for a hit. Miller holds up at third. Cordero holds up at first. And a long bloop single by Cordero keeps things going. It's runners at the corners and 1 down.
That ball was kicked as well, just kicked right up against the wall, so it's an easy play for Dent to retrieve it. By the way, that is our Texas Farm Bureau insurance run. Texas Farm Bureau members get free tickets to Skeeters games on Sundays. Just show your proof of your current membership at the ticket office, and you can get 2 free tickets to any Sunday home game. Visit your local agent to become a member today.
Last 5 batters have all reached base after Jeremy Barfield was retired as the first out, as the first batter of this inning. Benson now at the plate, and the first pitch to him is a called strike on the inner corner. Only 2 players that don't have a hit in the Skeeters lineup so far are Prince and Scott. But they have both reached base on walks. 0-1 in the dirt, blocked by Cruz, who has had to really work in this first game. But as is customary, you usually will not have to catch the second game. You usually have your other catcher take the other game in the doubleheader. You don't make one guy catch both. That would be brutal.
You did a lot of college baseball at University of Missouri. When I was doing college baseball, the catcher would catch both games.
Runners going, and Cordero's now caught in between first and second base. Burgess gets the throw from the pitcher. Now they go to second, and Cordero doesn't know what to do, and he finally gets tagged by Trienfeld there. That was odd, as Cordero started to go before the pitch, and once they noticed, he stopped and then tried to jump around in between that first and second base path. Miller, meanwhile, stayed put at third, and Cordero is the second out on the bases. They're 2 away now with a runner at third.
He didn't really have a chance to make a break for home. Go down as a caught stealing officially.
So 1-1 now to Benson, and the pitch is low. But going back to what you were saying on college pitchers or college catchers.
College catchers, yeah. I used to see the college catcher in Division I when I was doing it. He would catch both days, Saturday and Sunday, and they were both doubleheaders. So 4 games over 2 days.
Just one guy catching?
One guy.
I have not heard of that, as Benson skies that one into shallow left center field. Coming in to make the play is Witherspoon from center, and the inning is over. But not before the Skeeters take the lead. 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 error and a man left. It is 8-6 Skeeters after 5. We go to the 6th after this. Fourth pitcher of the day for them, it is the right-hander Evan Reed. Reed has thrown 11 2/3 innings and has a 5.40 ERA. 15 hits, 7 walks, 10 strikeouts for the big right-hander, who's a former Detroit Tiger, played the big leagues for them. And he comes in relief of Trey Haley, who had a 1-2-3 fifth. I'm Andy Humphrey, and now we'll throw it back to the great Ira Liebman.
Oh, thanks, Andy. Give me a lead, too. Nicely done. Skeeters are up 8-6 here. Reed will face 8, 9, and 1. And this is the nice thing about these 7-inning games. You can go your setup in the 6th and your closer in the 7th. And I have a feeling he's going to be setting up probably for Felipe Paulino or maybe even Marquez. Reed will take over here. Reed, a former third-round pick of the Texas Rangers in 2007. Last year spent time with Lincoln. With the Salt Dogs, he was 3-4 with a 1.95 ERA. Time in the bigs with the Tigers. No wins, 2 losses. 4.20 ERA, 48 appearances. Minor league numbers of 20 and 24 with a 3.92 ERA. This is his 10th season as a pro. And a former teammate, a former Skeeter, Robbie Weinhart. Luis Cruz will step in. He is 0 for 2. He has fly to the center, fly out to right. 0 for 5 since joining York. Still looking for his first hit here. He's set up away. It'll be a righty-righty matchup here for Reed. This one a fastball high. 1 ball and no strikes to count. First pitch at 90 miles an hour from Reed. I'm glad I get to see Reed with a gun because he's a hard thrower. Gonna guess he'll probably take it up to about 93 at times from what I've seen. This one a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here to Luis Cruz. Right-handed hitting catcher for the Revolution. Skeeters are up 8-6 here in the 6th. The 1-1. This one is high and outside. 2 balls and a strike. This Revs team can score some runs, so 2 runs certainly not safe. I believe Dustin Richardson is warming in the Skeeters pen, and it is. This one fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here.
Well, it seems the Skeeters don't seem to have a set guy as the closer. They've had Paulino come in most of the time. They've also had Mark Haynes come in. I'm surprised that Richardson has only had 1 save opportunity. He has been their best reliever.
I think also a couple of lefties coming up, so that's who might be setting up here. The next batter, a lefty, which he's obviously not going to pitch to. Then top of the order, Constanzo, and then a few batters later, the cleanup hitter, Burgess. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count remains here on Cruz, who fouled that last one back. Skeeters 8 runs on 9 hits. They have committed 1 error. New York 6 runs, 8 hits. They have committed a trio of errors. The 2-2. Swung and fouled off the right side. We spoke about in game 1. Really the Achilles heel for this York team. They now have 28 errors on the season. Talking game number 30, roughly 1 error a game. It's a lot. We're talking about 140 errors over the course of a season. Oddly enough, the Skeeters, who won the championship last year, may have been one of the worst fielding teams they've ever had. The 2-2 here from Reed. He will kick and fire at home. Swung and fouled off again as Cruz is hanging tough. And we mentioned today's the 20th anniversary. The first manager of the Somerset Patriots was Sparky Lyle. The other guy for the Atlantic City Surf was a guy I knew in San Angelo, Doc Ederson. Doc used to say this to me all the time, and I thought, he's crazy. He said, you don't need a great defensive team to win. I thought, there's no way that's true. Everybody knows it's pitching and defense that wins you championships. The 2-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. That'll run the count full 3-2. And he said, you don't need the 82 Cardinals with Ozzie Smith and Willie McGee and all those guys to win. I said, well, how are you going to win a championship with no defense? He said, it doesn't say no defense. He said, all I need are 9 guys who can field the balls that are hit at him. And I don't need guys to make spectacular plays, but you got to be able to field the balls that are hit your way. And he was right. Swan is hit to the left side. There's a diving stop in the hole by the Skeeters shortstop, and the throw to first not in time. What a play by Prince. No matter where he is, he just seems to get all the way around.
Yeah, they did a little bit of shifting on the infield. Prince is at shortstop after Jansanti came in for Zawadzki. And so Jansanti's at second base, which slid Prince over to short.
Certainly don't lose anything on defense with the Skeeters team. 1-on-none out for Jared Mitchell. Infield single for Cruz. Long look over to first by Reed. He's really holding this. Now he finally comes home, and this one is low. 1 ball and no strikes to count. You gotta be careful, just like that. The tying run is at the plate. Skeeters still need 6 outs here in the 6th. Leading 8-6 over the Revolution in a 7-inning game. As Andy said, 1 of 2 we will bring you today. This one which started at noon, and then another one coming up at 6 o'clock. The 1-0 by Reed. Swung a hit to the right side past the diving first baseman Travis got it into right field. Around second, heading for third easily is Cruz, and just like that, runners on the corners with nobody out. This is going to be a heavyweight slugfest. 2 guys standing in the center of the ring, slugging it out until one of them falls down.
Well, they've each had answers for each other, and York trying to cash in on these early base runners. That's really been the key for most of these hitters today in this first game. They've been getting the pitchers early, and it looks like Evan Reed's not going to get to see any more batters.
No, Gary Gaddy already made the move, so it looks like we're going to see Dustin Richardson here, especially with the left-handed Costanza coming up, and then another lefty 2 batters later. We'll take a break. We'll tell you all about the Skeeters southpaw, Dustin Richardson, will return here. Skeeters up 8-6, but York threatening. Runners on the corners and nobody out. Back in a moment.
Lansing's public house.
Well, Skeeters now bring in Dustin Richardson as the first 2 batters for York in this 6th inning. Both reached base on singles, so it's first and third and nobody out. Richardson, the lefty, the lone lefty on this Skeeters pitching staff, now comes in. The former Texas Tech Raider was a 5th round pick by the Red Sox in '06. And this season for the Skeeters, he has had a great start to his 2017, has only given up 1 run in 11 innings, and his ERA is under 1 at .82. 5 walks and 19 strikeouts so far for Dustin.
Richardson, 11 straight scoreless appearances. The only run he's allowed this season was on opening day to the Bluefish. Well, top of the order, he's got a pickle to get out of first and third. Nobody out. Skeeters holding on to a 8-6 lead. First pitch, a fastball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to count to Costanza. Costanza has singled twice, sandwiched between a ground ball back to the pitcher. He's also driven in a run. Skeeters at double play depth here. Even with the bag at third is Kevin Aarons. And a throw to first by the southpaw, beginning back easily standing up is Mitchell. See if Richardson can work some magic here. Mitchell trying to distract him. Richardson cocked the arm but did not throw. They set up outside, and the 0-1 by the Skeeters lefty is way inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Missed the target by a lot there.
Yeah, I don't know if he got crossed up on that one because Cordero reached very late to stop that.
You would certainly trade a double play for a run here. Then you'd be just 4 outs away from a win. Richardson looks at first, comes home, and this one's swung and missed. Great pitch there by Richardson. Richardson features 2 pitches, a fastball and a slider, and that was the slider there. You go back to that pitch and probably a little further outside, see if Constanza will chase it. Constanza, there's number 13. They are set up outside. This one swung and hit towards second. Let's see if they can turn 2. A throw to first in time. Great play by Jansanti. Tagged the runner Mitchell and then throw it to first. A run will score, and now it's 8-7. Skeeters still leading by 1 here.
Really heads up by Jansanti. Wouldn't have been able to get the throw over to first in time if he had flipped to Prince at short. It would have only been able to get 1. And now it's the bases empty with 2 down. You were able to spend that 1 run, and now it's still your ball game.
Now, if Richardson gets dent here, you're going to have the big hitters in the ninth, talking 3, 4, 5 in the order. So it certainly will not be a cakewalk for whoever comes out to close, unless Richardson stays in here for a 5-out save, or a 6-out save, actually. First pitch, a strike, no balls, and 1 strike to Dent. Dent has singled and scored, struck out, and flied out. This one way inside, backs him off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Richardson, the 5th pitcher of the night for the Skeeters. Mitch Talbot, the former big league, made his debut. He went 2. And Cameron Stanton, Trey Haley, Evan Reed, and now Richardson. So one misses, 2 balls and a strike here. Eight to 7 now, the Skeeters leading here. There's only been 3 scoreless halves in this game. This one a strike on the outside corner. Both teams exchanged 3 runs in the first. York got a pair in the third. The Skeeters answered with 1. Both teams with a solo run in the fourth. Skeeters with 3 in the third, and then 1 here in the sixth by the Revolution. They set up away in the 2-2. Oh, wow, just off the outside corner. Richardson, the entire infield, and myself thought that was strike 3. Looked pretty good, but that'll run the count full 3-2.
That was less than an inch away.
Let's see if Richardson goes back out or decides to come in. He does come in. It's kind of a jam shot to second. Jansanti charges it, flips it underhand. That'll do it. Great job by Richardson. First and third, nobody out. Only allows 1 to score. Gets a double play and a ground out. Middle of the 6th, it is 8-7 Skeeters.
It's a new pitcher for the York Revolution in this bottom of the 6th inning with the Skeeters up 8-7, and it's Julio DePaula comes into this game. DePaula, his first 3 innings pitched, he gave up 5 runs on 7 hits, and in his last 3 innings as a member of the Rebs, he is not allowed to run on just 2 hits. He was signed by the Twins in 1999 out of the Dominican Republic. He debuted for the Twins in 07, 16 career Major League games, an 0-1 record, and an 8.55 ERA.
Well, the Skeeters, who are leading by just 1, 8-7, will try to get some insurance. Top of the order here in the bottom of the 6th. Prince, Travis Scott, Jeremy Barfield, 1, 2, and 3 against DePaula. First pitch is hammered foul down the right side by Prince. No balls and 1 strike. He has reached base twice, Josh, both via the walks. He also has scored a run and struck out. He's 0 for 1. DePaula, 34 years old. The right-hander from the stretch deals the 0-1, and this one is, whoa, got the inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Ball is 6-1, 210 of the Dominican Republic. DePaula wheels, fires. This one is hit toward short, backhanded by Trienfeld, and throw a perfect one right on target. 6-3 on the putout, and there is 1 down. A 1 out, none on for Travis Scott. Scott 0 for 2. He has grounded out, popped out, has also walked and scored. Travis came in at 283, 2 home runs and 12 RBIs. DePaula split last year with Agua Calientes in the Mexican League as well as the Revolution, as he did the year before. Also had to stop at AAA in 2015 with the Diamondbacks. There's 1 a strike. No balls and 1 strike to count. He also spent time with York in 2013 and 14, with Bridgeport in 2012, so certainly no stranger to the Atlantic League. And he was even in New Britain when they were an affiliated team back in 2006. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Skeeters leading by 1, 8-7 here in the bottom half of the 6th. They set up inside. The 1-1 is hammered foul down the left side. 1 and 2 the count to Scott. Again, game 2 will be at 6 o'clock here on 1560 AM. First pitch set for 6:05. This one is in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eight runs on 9 hits for the Skeeters, 7 runs on 10 hits for the Revolution. The 2-2 coming here to Scott. This one swung and missed, strike 3. That had plenty of movement on it, and there's 2 down. 2 outs, none on, and intercepts Jeremy Barfield, having a good day. He has singled, homered, and he has driven in 2. Also scored a run. See if he can have another one of those long balls. Really starting to catch fire, and they would say home run hitters hit him in bunches. He now has 3 home runs in his last 4 games for a league-leading 9. Also has 20 RBIs. This one is a fastball down low. 1 ball and no strikes to count. DePaula against the side from the stretch. They set up inside, and this one swung and fouled off the hands. Ground back to the screen to 1 ball and 1 strike to count. In game 2, the Skeeters will send out Sean Gleason against Frank Gailey. This one a little bit low. 2 balls and 1 strike here on Barfield. The right-hander Deals the 2-1, and this one is a strike on the inside corner, 2-2 the count. Two balls, two strikes, two outs. Skeeters leading 8-7 here in the bottom of the sixth. This one swung and a missed strike three as Barfield waves at a ball low and away. And DePaula has himself two strikeouts and a ground out for a 1-2-3 inning. End of the sixth inning. Skeeters up by 1, 8-7, but they're three defensive outs away from a victory. We'll see who's going to come on and try to close it out in the ninth when we get back.
Skeeters are up 8-7. It's a save situation, and Felipe Paulino will come in to try and get his sixth save of the season. He's 1-1 with a 2.57 ERA, 14 innings pitched, 10 hits, just 5 runs allowed, 4 of them earned, 8 walks, 14 strikeouts for the big right-hander, the former big leaguer, and he comes in relief of Dutchson Richardson. The Skeeters have used 6 pitchers in this 7-inning game, so Paulino trying to close this one out. The Skeeters looking for their first win of the series and the homestand.
Paulino last time out was the last game in Somerset. Needed a nifty double play to get out of the game and get this save. He will face 3, 4, and 5 here. Angel Franco, Michael Burgess, and Carlos Trienfeld. First pitch, a fastball up high. 1 ball and no strikes to count. 91 on the gun for Paulino. Franco has scored 2. He has singled, walked, and hit into a fielder's choice. So he is 1 for 2. This one misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. And Paulino, for a closer, really has a healthy arsenal. He has 5 pitches: a fastball, a slider, a curve, a sinker, and a cutter. But behind 2-0 here to Franco. A 2-0 high, 3-0 on Franco. I want to walk the leadoff man here, clinging to a 1-run lead here in the 7th inning in a 7-inning contest. Skeeters are leading 8-7. Some big hitters coming up, including cleanup hitter Michael Burgess on deck. The 3-0. There's one down the middle for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. Again, 91 on the gun for Paulino. Franco came in 269, a home run and 8 RBIs. The 3-1, this one a strike on the outside corner. Franco was ready to throw the bat away. That was right on the outside edge of the plate. Got to run the count full 3-2 as Paulino tries to battle back here. Payoff pitch from Paulino, swung and fouled straight back. Healthy cut by Franco. One right around the plate. You'd like to get this win here, and generally you get a split out of a doubleheader, so even if you lost game 2, you still get that split. But you also have a chance to sweep. You got to take game 1 here first. Payoff pitch by Paulino, swung on and foul tipped into the mid of Cordero. Great job by Paulino, battled back from a 3-0 count to get a strikeout. And the Skeeters are 2 outs away, and that is a huge out.
It is, and he challenged him there with that fastball and right down the middle. And Franco just couldn't catch up. He got a little piece of it, but could not time it up perfectly.
3 tough hitters to go, though. Only needs 2 outs. Burgess, the cleanup hitter. Trienfeld, who has a double and is 1 for 2 with a couple of RBIs, and then Witherspoon, if he gets that far, with a couple of RBIs. First pitch to the left-handed hitter is a little bit low, 1-0. Burgess tonight has struck out, walked, scored, and grounded back to the pitcher. So officially 0 for 2. Came in batting .281 with 3 home runs and 15 RBIs. This one, a fastball misses away. That one hits 93 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 by Paulino. This one, a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Mentioned Burgess, a former first-round pick, 49th overall in 2007. That was the year that David Price was the number of overall pick. This one grounded back to the right side of the mound. Paulino has it. He'll lob it over to first. 1-3 on the put-out, and the Skeeters are 1 out away from a win. And the only thing standing between that victory and a win is Carlos Trienfeld.
Carlos Trienfeld.
Let's see if Paulino can nail it down as Trienfeld comes in. He has walked, doubled, and grounded out. He's also driven into and scored a run. Paulino gets a sign here from Cordero. First pitch is in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Paulino so far 12 pitches, 6 for strikes, 6 for balls. Paulino, long look in. They're going to set up outside. And the 1-0. This one swung and missed. Chased the ball low and away. 1-1. Paulino's ready. Stepping back in here is Trienfeld. The 1-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2, and Paulino and the Skeeters 1 strike away from a victory here in game 1 of this day-night doubleheader. Paulino's ready. They set up away the 1-2. Check swing, did he go? No! The appeal does not go in favor of the Skeeters. First base umpire John Severe said he did not go. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Skeeters 1 strike away. They're leading 8-7 here in the 7th of a 7-inning game. Game 2 will be a 9-inning game. I wonder if Paulino will challenge him with a fastball. He struck out Franco on a fastball. The 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Did challenge him with a fastball, and that's the game as the Skeeters win this one 8-7. 8 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Skeeters. 7 runs, 10 hits, and 3 big errors for the Revolution. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll give you the final numbers. We'll give you the highlights, player of the game, and preview Game 2 of this doubleheader. All that and more. We'll return on the Skeeters post-game show in a moment.
Texas direct conduct.